my name is Bruce Haiduk, and I'm here to give you your first free trombone lesson. So, obviously the first step to playing trombone will be to get it out of the case, yes? Now your first reaction, when you first get it out, and you first see it for the very first time, you might think, oh, my trombone's broken! It is not. This is how they all come in the case. I'm about to show you the most efficient way to put it together. So the first step, take your right hand, take the slide section, hold it vertically to the ground, like this, and then with your left hand, you're going to take what we call the bell section, this part with the bell right here, with the bell facing down, and you're just going to slowly, just going to float the bell section just gently on top of the slide section like that. And then, holding it just like this, you're going to take the little screw there and screw it in there. Now the tricky part with this is, if you screw it in too loosely, you're going to have this flopping around like this the whole time when you play. If you do too tightly, you might have difficulty unscrewing it again, or you might even strip the screws. But you'll get the hang of it soon enough. And so, the last ingredient that we need for our trombone is the mouthpiece. It's going to be very difficult to play without the mouthpiece. So here, you see this receiver right here is going to drop it in and give it a nice little quarter turn, alright? No more than that. The last thing you want is a stuck mouthpiece. That is a huge pain to deal with. So, I've got the trombone put together. That's the first step. But now we're going to set it aside. Now the most important thing when it comes to playing the trombone is learning how to blow enough air. So, I want you to imagine this. You just got home from a long, stressful day at school. You just sink down into the couch and you go, that's the kind of air that you want. It's a lot of air, but it's not super fast, forceful air like or something like that. It's a lot of air, but everything in your mouth and in your throat is kept nice and open. So before you start playing, do that a few times so that you can get used to that amount of air that you need to pump out. When you start feeling lightheaded, stop. By the way, you should be sitting down for this. When you start to feel lightheaded, bend over, put your head between your knees, and just wait for that feeling of lightheadedness to go away. Alright? So that's the kind of air that we want to play the trombone. So let's get back to the horn. We're going to take just the mouthpiece. So since you're going to be holding the trombone with your left hand, you're going to hold the mouthpiece with your left hand as well. So look and see how my two fingers and my thumb are on the end of what we call the shank. So here's what you're going to do. Remember that same way of breathing that you just did, but here's the difference. Just before you blow out, you're going to put your lips together, make the corners of your lips firm, but the center of your lips nice and relaxed, but everything is still touching. So what's essentially going to be going on inside the mouthpiece is, that's how you make a sound on a brass sound. Now what I just did is called free buzzing, and that's actually really hard to do if you haven't been playing for years. So it's a lot easier to make that buzz happen on the mouthpiece and on the trombone. So let's try that now. It's going to go something like this. It's going to make that funny little duck sound that we all know and that we all love, right? So once you've got that down, try experimenting with making the pitch, the note, go up and down. Something like that. So now we have to learn how to play the trombone itself. But before we do that, we need to learn how to hold the trombone. So with your left hand, you can make a little finger gun like this. And this little brace right here that connects the bell to here is going to rest between your thumb and your forefinger. Just like that. Then the index finger is going to rest on top of this thing. If you can't quite reach it yet, that's okay. Just let this finger kind of hang free. Then the other three fingers are going to help support the weight by holding this first brace right here. So this is what you got going on with your left hand. And this is the hand that's going to hold the weight of the trombone so that your right hand is free to work the slide. Now right now, we have the slide lock on, right? so that the slide doesn't end up moving by itself. All right? In terms of holding the slide, you're going to take your right hand, put your thumb down here, your two fingers here, and then these other two fingers just kind of hang free. So now we're going to do what we did earlier on the mouthpiece, but with the buzz. And there you go. There's your first note. Now, let's unlock the slide. Watch what happens now. Pretty cool, right? So, the slide is one way to change the notes on the trombone. Obviously, you go out, the note gets lower. You come in, the note gets higher. But there's another way so that we can play all the notes. So, you can try, if you started on this note, try relaxing the corners a little bit and blowing slower air. And watch what happens. If you started on this note, just do the opposite. Firm your corners up a little bit more and blow slightly faster air. So, now you know two ways to change the pitch on the trombone. Now you can play all the notes. In the wise words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, you've taken your first step in a larger world. Have fun!